thank you for coming to the Cygnes District 4-H Club Leader Training and for March. I have several things to go over, and then we'll talk a little bit about several different things. I know usually I introduce yourself, but I have several slides and I want to make sure we keep it to an hour so or less. So I'm going to skip that today. And the fact that I don't think there's anybody who's not been on here before so. Okay. All right, so our agenda for tonight, I'm going to talk about our judges trainings. So we have a couple different judges trainings that are coming up. Just kind of give you a quick, brief use of the 4-H Clover, because I know we've talked about that a little bit before, but I have a new graphic that I think might be helpful. We have the 4-H camperships from the Miami County 4-H Foundation, some horse project changes that have came down, goats, sheep, swine tagging. We're going to talk a lot about fundraising. That's kind of our training part of the day. Summer programming, we've got a lot of save the dates for you. And then fair dates, and then Miami County 4-H or fair book cover contest and the club leaders notebooks, because I have added to the digital copies of those. So, all right. And as always, if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to pipe in. I think I have my speaker set right this time. I've been hearing people, so hopefully that's good. But you can also do the chat, although I am monitoring it myself. So please if somebody sees something in the chat, let me know, and I'll try to monitor it as well. Okay. All right. So first thing is judges trainings. We have in-person judges training in Paola, and that is registration is due April 5th. So it's coming up quickly. If you know anyone who might be interested, teachers would be ideal, but, really anyone who has a little bit of knowledge about or passion about a certain project and would like to know more about how to judge. This is for 4-H and open class judges for our fairs. And I know we're losing quite a few of our judges as they get older and can't deal with the heat and coming to the fair as much. So we're really needing to get some new ones in and trained and ready to go. Sessions for that will include horticulture, floriculture, fiber arts, photography, visual arts, entomology, woodworking, posters, displays, and notebooks. And they can come, we have it set up to where there's a general session. It starts at 9 o'clock or 9 to 9:25 with registration. About 9:30, we're going to have a general session, and then we'll have breakout sessions. And so if you don't want to come the whole day, or you just want to see one of these, that's fine too. You don't have to stay the whole day. We will be done about 1 o'clock. So it's only a half a day really anyway. So if you know of anyone, please get the word out. I was hoping to have a little bit better turnout. I think right now we have 12 people signed up for it. So I'd really like to be around that 20, if not bigger. So please help us get the word out on that. And then the other thing is, if you are interested in being a foods judge, the state is actually having a virtual foods judges training. It's going to be via Zoom, April 11th, 18th, 25th, and it's at 7 o'clock. And you have to register by April 10th for that. They're also going to record those. So if you miss one, I think you can do the recording, is the way I understand it. But it's a little bit more in depth to do a foods judging because of all the food safety issues that we have, and especially on food preservation. So be sure and let people know about that one as well. Okay, so this is the use of the 4-H Clover, because I know you all are getting ready for a fair. You're probably having shirts made for your clubs, different things of that. And just a reminder that, we have to use the whole emblem. We cannot remove any of the leaves or have images superimposed over the top of any of the leaves. You cannot place text or other images over the top of the emblem. You have to keep it upright. We can't curve it or do different things with it or distort it or have different proportions. So just a quick reminder, I know I've been going over this quite a bit. I did put this in the new, I've added this sheet and the K-State co-branding, which basically says that if you put the 4-H Clover on something, you have to put K-State Research and Extension on it as well. And both of those documents are now in the digital Club Leader Notebook. And I'll give you that link here as we go down. through the program today. So I'm really excited to tell you about our 4-H camperships from the Miami County 4-H Foundation. So I worked with Rock Springs and the Miami County 4-H Foundation to set up these camperships, which are basically scholarships for people, for 4-H members from the Marais District who are going to camp. So we have, we're giving $75 off of a 3-night camp. So if you're signing up for that 4-day, 3-night camp through Rock Springs 4-H camps, of course, you use the code SUNFUN75 and it takes it right off the top of your bill, basically. So you don't have to worry about getting reimbursed. You don't have to worry about paying it up front. And I think that's a really good thing. The other thing is this, if you're going for one of the 5-night camps or the specialty camps that are a little bit longer, those you can use the code SUNFUN100. So that has been in the newsletter, I believe, for the last 2 months. I know it's in the newsletter that went out today or is going out tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly when that's coming. And, you know, just make sure you use them at registration. If for some reason somebody forgets to use them for registration, I'm actually going back through each month and kind of checking it. And if I see one that is a camp, a 4-H member enrolled in our district, I'll make sure that they get that applied to them. So I'm really excited about this because it kind of helps eliminate things and lets you have that coupon right off the bat instead of getting reimbursed for it after camp. Okay, so horse project changes. There are no more district horse shows. And I know most of you probably don't have a lot of kids that are in horse, but if you do, just in case, just so you guys know, to qualify for state fair, they have to compete in any horse show and they have to get a signed affidavit that basically says that they competed in that horse show. That horse show can be a 4-H horse show. It can be a non-4-H horse show. It could be our fair horse show. It doesn't really matter. The other change is that June 1st is now our horse ID certificate due date. It was May 1st, so they got until June. They have until June 1st now to submit those to our office. Then I will sign them and we will make copies of them and get them back to them. And the other thing is for the Miami County Fair and the Lynn County Fair, I believe, they are required to complete the horse safety webinar and quiz to show at fair. And that is coming out later this month. It's going to be kind of, you know, you can do it at different times, so you don't have to be there. I think it might be live sometime, but I think it's also going to be available via video as well. So those are all on our webpage under projects. And then if you see horse project changes, those will say those, the affidavits there, the certificate, because they have changed the certificate, but you can use the old certificate still. And then also the webinar information as well as in the newsletter that is coming out or just came out. Any questions so far? Because I went over quite a few things. Okay, I'll continue on and let me know if you do. Just a reminder, the goats, sheep, swine weigh-in and tagging is May 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. That's for Lynn County and Miami County. Lynn County will go to the Lynn County Fairgrounds. Miami County will go to the Miami County Fairgrounds. And just a reminder, it is $4 per tag, so you'll need to have check or cash there to pay for those. Okay, so I'm going to go on into our fundraising, and part of it is so I'm going to ask a couple questions, and if you agree with the statement, let me look here. I'm going to let you, if you can raise your hand, and you can raise your hand by trying to remember how you do it. I think if you click, there should be a way to raise your hand, and I always forget how to do it. Maybe in the chat.
The reactions, there's a no.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, you can do reactions and then you can raise your hand. So if you agree with the statement, please raise your hand. So I'm back. Raise your hand if you think the primary goal of fundraising is to get money for club use. So most of us probably agree with this. Do we overlook other goals that fundraising accomplishes? Fundraising needs to be done to meet the needs of the club to support the educational work of 4-H members and the club. Fundraising should not be done just to raise money or to reach a monetary goal. So raise your hand if you think the goal of fundraising is to give youth the experience of planning for financial needs. Or say yes in the chat, whichever you want to do. Okay. So an important early step when considering fundraising is to look at the club plans and goals to determine if money is needed and how much is needed. You should be involved in estimating costs for potential efforts and determining if their current treasury has adequate funding. And then the last one is raise your hand if you think a goal of fundraising is to give youth the experience of planning and carrying out the activity. Okay. So yeah, much can be learned through the fundraising experiences as you look at money raising options, select the effort, set deadlines, determine what needs to be done, and then participate and complete the activity. So those are kind of some things, you know, we don't want to just raise funds to be raising funds. I have this conversation sometimes with our 4-H council a little bit on how much money really a treasury and a 4-H club needs. And the basic rule is about about 2 years worth of expenses. So operating costs. So if you basically spend about $500 a year, then you only need $1,000 in your treasury. Now, I know some of us have more, some of us have less. That's okay. And you can always raise funds to be raised to, complete that. The other thing is really 4-H is really supposed to be raising funds to help the whole club, not just one individual or family. So that's the other thing to think about. Okay. So a common fear when considering fundraising is that one person, usually the club leader, will end up doing all the work. If the club members, families, and volunteers aren't fully committed to the fundraising effort, it's very possible that it might happen. It might end up being one person or a few people who carry out the effort. To be committed to the fundraising effort, club members need to be involved in determining the fundraising need, help pick the best way to raise the money, express their ideas on in plan, and make a commitment to carry out the effort. So the more that they have ownership in this, the better off you will be. And the more likely that they will actually raise the funds and help plan and organize the activity. So some questions to consider when you're fundraising. Think about why does your club need the money in the treasury? What is the specific purpose? Did the 4-H members approve of this purpose? What is the amount of funds that need to be raised? What are the advantages to our club raising money for this? What are the disadvantages of our club raising money? How will members be involved in the fundraising? What worries do you have about the club raising money? And how will the 4-H club be kept informed about the fundraiser, both the progress and the member roles? So those are just some things to think about when you're considering fundraising. So there's a couple of fundraising guidelines, and that's one of the reasons I brought this up tonight is, so just a reminder, if you're doing a fundraiser, you really need to let me know what you're doing. We've had some, and it's not that I care necessarily what you're doing, as long as you're not endorsing saying 4-H endorses products, or doing something that's inappropriate, which I know none of you are for that. But it's more the fact that occasionally we have people come through our communities that say they're raising money in the name of 4-H and they really aren't. And so it's so I know if it is legit, if I get a phone call saying, hey, so-and-so stopped me and wanted me to donate to this, buy tickets for this. The one I can think of a few years ago was a circus came to town and they were having it at the fairgrounds and they were going around selling tickets, saying that the money was going to 4-H. We never got any of that money. So it's just so I can keep track of what fundraising is happening in case I get questions. So if you can email me with any of your fundraisers before they happen, that I need that to happen. It's part of the state policy. And I will just quickly email you. I put it in a folder in my email so I know it's there. And I quickly email you back and say, sounds great, you're good to go. Now, raffles are a little bit different. Raffles have a form that needs to be completed, and I just realized, I think they've changed it, but now it has to be approved by the district board. So I'm going to need those. If you're planning on doing a raffle of some kind, please contact me to get the form, and I'm going to need that about a month ahead of time because the board, my MdC district board, only meets monthly on the first Monday of the month. So I have to have that to them for approval. And just a reminder, when you're doing fundraising, unless they come straight from 4-H or they have 4-H on it, we do not endorse the products. So, oops, sorry. Okay, so one of the other things, as I was researching this, you know, I know we all do things and we have many different things that we kind of stick to, like we do a lot of food stands, and maybe, you know, you sell trash bags or different things. And sometimes those get old. We have a lot of other groups that are selling cookie dough and different things like that. So I wanted to give some ideas. So I was looking for some ideas that maybe were a little bit different. And these are some of the things that I came up with that I think maybe have some use for you as a 4-H club. I will, at the end, I probably will ask you if you guys have any ideas for fundraisers that you've tried and really like too. So one of the first ones I found was a pumpkin festival. And that was basically maybe setting up a class or a workshop where kids can come and decorate pumpkins, whether it's, you know, painting them, whether it's carving them, anything like that. You know, have a charge, maybe it's $10 per person or whatever, and they come and do those things. So I thought that really went well with 4-H, was a good idea, and maybe something that you don't see around here as much. They can paint. You can add in pumpkin baked goods, including a pumpkin pie bake-off, or serve pumpkin pie along with, you know, hot apple cider and different things, and just kind of have an entire pumpkin festival. Kind of going along with that is craft items classes. You know, I don't know how many times I do a workshop with 4-Hers, and I have adults saying, I wish I could come and, you know, learn to macrame or do an art class. So, you know, use your 4-H'er skills. It's great for their record books, gives them leadership experience, teaching experience, and they can lead those classes and charge a fee and make some money that way. Another thing is Christmas wreath sales or greenery sales, or a lot of different things with that. I know in my first extension job, I was out in Waukene, Kansas, and we were the Christmas town, I think, because, you know, basically all year round, we celebrated Christmas. We had the biggest Christmas tree between Kansas City and Denver. So we always did a greenery workshop where basically you paid so much money. We had greenery and decorations, and they made centerpieces, they made wreaths, different things like that. So that's another idea. Either you make the wreaths and sell them, you have a workshop where people come in and make them, and you just have the supplies. All of those things are doable. You can also do a corn or hay maze. I know those are kind of popular around here, so you might, you know, have a few people who are doing them too, but it depends on the time of year. Another thing that somebody suggested, which I thought was kind of cool, because it could be a practice run for our fair kiddie tractor pools that Farm Bureau does, but maybe having a kiddie tractor pool, especially like here in the spring, that could be a, you know, kind of a warm up to get them ready for the fair kiddie tractor pools. One of the things I did in college was wrapping gifts. We stood outside the union and had a table and wrapped gifts. Might be a little bit harder here in the MdC district, but I'm guessing there's some way you could figure out how to pull that off, whether you were at Walmart or Price Chopper or, you know, downtown Lacine or Mound City or Paola or Osawatomie. trying to do that. Another thing that was kind of interesting was offering a birthday party service. And this would basically be where you plan the games, dress as clowns, provide refreshments, and supervise activities, and basically offer to plan a birthday party. A neat thing I saw was Kisses or Fishes. And these were selling candy in little plastic bags of Hershey's Kisses or Goldfish crackers with a note reminding the participant that the proceeds benefit your amazing opportunity. And depending on the size, you could sell the bags for $1 to $3 each. So just a little snack bag, and they get to choose if they want Kisses or Fishes. A spring plant sale where you basically, everyone needs to divide their, hostas and maybe, or like I have Rose of Sharon in my front yard that I'm going to have to dig up if it's still alive. So, you could have those and split off your plants basically, or grow your own plants and then have a plant sale. The loose change collection was kind of an interesting idea. This is basically, you find a jar or container to collect spare change, create a label explaining your club's cause, ask local businesses if you can leave your donation container somewhere in their building, and wait and see if somebody drops their, if they get change back, maybe they'll drop it in there. Another idea was the treasure chest, which is where you find a chest with a lock and key and you fill it up with donated prizes. And then you buy at least 2 dozen more keys that look similar and sell keys to open the chest. You could also do that with a padlock and have a code, and maybe they have to guess the code, or you sell the code numbers. And then you can keep the chest and the key or the lock and reuse it. Petting zoos, I haven't gotten any calls for a while, but every once in a while I get asked if we can do a petting zoo somewhere. Face painting has always, our ambassadors have done that several times, and that's always a popular event. Having some kind of cook-off is always neat, and don't think of like your traditional chili, maybe do something different, or pies or something, but do something different, think outside the box a little bit. Having some kind of fun run. And then I kind of thought about this one, but I don't know. I used to watch that lip sync battle that they had, and I think a lip sync battle would be kind of fun. You can have that as a fundraiser. So those are just some ideas that I have from the internet. Does anyone else have ideas for fundraisers that they've done that they think went well?
I have a couple. We've done Parents' Day Out where the parents can drop their kids off, usually like around the holidays, and then they can get their Christmas shopping done and then do that in conjunction with the wrapping paper. So once they're done with their shopping, they can drop off their gifts and wait for them to get wrapped. The other thing we've done is through our church is a demo dinner where you fix a nice dinner and then serve it to the people who have bought tickets or whatever. And so both of those have been pretty successful in the past.
That's great. Okay. I see Jenica says we did a Rata Cutlery fundraiser, which that was one of the websites I found when I was looking. So that's on the next slide. So yeah, that sounds great. What else who else has something to share?
This is Rebecca. And our club, I don't know if Kathy Benny started this a while back, but just within our club, we invite the grandparents and the kids prepare a meal the night before. And so before our club meeting, all the kids are asked to bring 2 projects to silent auction off that they have made, or baskets. So food baskets are really popular to put together, but everyone is asked to bring 2 things. And our last silent auction brought in like $450, which was pretty incredible.
That is not good.
Yeah. And everyone's involved, which is nice. It gets all the club members involved, and they're good about doing it too.
Oh, good. Those were great ideas, all of those. Okay, Jessica says they're in the middle of the cookbook fundraiser. Too early if it's going to be successful, but That is always a good one too. And I did see that in several things, but I know some clubs have already done that. So, but yeah. Anyone else have any ideas they want to share for fundraisers? Okay. Okay, so I did so I get emails every once in a while, and one of the ones that has been really kind of getting me, and I'm going to switch to websites here for a second. So Blooming Socks has really been after me. I think I get an email from them like once every 2 weeks. So, and I have for the past like 6 months. I don't share these because I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't know if they're good or how they work, but I thought it was kind of an interesting one because it sounds like you set up your own like fundraiser online store, and they do it, and they do have some interesting socks here because they, there's like the cotton one, and there is some goat ones, different things like that. The one in every herd. That I think that's, I'm not sure what all I have here on my screen, but anyway, there is some 4-H ones, rabbit ones, too hip to hop, bugs don't bug me. So the tractor one with This Is How I Roll. Those are some of the ones that I thought were kind of cute. And so that's an option too, if you're looking for something. Like I said, I don't know much about it. So if somebody tries it out, please let me know. I'm always kind of leery about sharing these with you all, and I don't want to overwhelm you with lots of different emails about, they're basically advertising these things. So I try not to send those out, but since we were talking about it, I wanted you to be aware of them. Another one that I saw, and like I said, I don't have a lot of information about this one either, is the fundraisingzone.com, and they have lots of different ideas, fundraising that works well. But when you get down here, they have Pop and Popcorn fundraiser, Earth Candles, holiday collection. There was something about Winter Wonderland, the Happy Spring 2023. I was trying to think what that one was. Maybe it'll pop up. Yeah, so that would be like peanut butter bears, ever-bearing strawberries, some different things in some mugs, apple crisp mix. So some different things there is an option. And then I think it was Cygnes who said that they had done, the Rata cutlery, but that was one of the ones that popped up for me too. So very expensive and low quality. Okay. Good to know that, Anne. Thank you. So the popcorn might not be the way you want to go. But you could always get ideas from them too and maybe do your own. So, but these are basically knives. So the Rata cutlery is in a knives on that. So those are just some options. I will be honest, I Googled 4-H fundraising and there were loads of things that popped up. I know when I'm at national meeting for extension 4-H agents, they always have the beef sticks company. I think it's called Country Meats. Oops, sorry about that. And so there's lots of different ideas out there. Any questions about fundraising? Okay. All right, moving on. So summer programming. We are going to have lots of summer programming. Amy and I have been working hard on this. So Rata is knives, utensils, mixes for dips, soups, etc. So and chips to the club sorted for each member by member. Okay. All right. So that's good to know. Thank you, Annalisa. Okay, so summer programming. We have lots of programs coming up. We have Chopped, which will be June 7th, and Paola, and more information will be coming out on all of these probably within the next month. Our goal is to get it out by May 1st. Amy's going to offer 2 Make It workshops. So instead of doing the makeup or Make It, mixed media, she's going to actually do a workshop instead of doing the Make It contest where they just design their own. She's actually going to do a workshop, and she's got a mixed media, and it looks really cool. She's done some samples already. So she has one on June 9th in Paola and one on June 23rd in Mound City. Amy's also planned a summer road trip to Missouri Star Quilt Company up in Hamilton, Missouri for June 13th. We are looking for some parents who would want to go and maybe help also take some kids there. If you're volunteer screened, you will need to be volunteer screened for that trip. Floral design workshop. Abby is doing that with Amy in June 14th in Mound City. Amy is teaching a beginner sewing aprons class on June 21st in Paola. We have our day camp for June 27th in Paola and June 29th in Mound City. Favorite food show is June 11th in Mound City. I'm trying to get a teen leadership camp going, and that's going to be July 7th. I'm hoping to be at Lacine, but we probably will provide rides for Miami County people from Paola, or we'll see where we need rides, but rides could be provided down to Lacine for kids. The area livestock judging contest is June 16th, I believe. And I'm not sure if it's at Yates Center or where the location will be. The area challenge day, which is judging contest, favorite food show, is June 27th in Emporia. So there's lots of things happening. And then fair dates is Miami County Fair is July 22nd through the 29th. And then Lynn County Fair is August 5th through the 12th. I think it might actually officially start on the 4th, but I always just do the Saturday. So yeah.
It actually does start, Carla, it does start on Saturday this time because they're not doing the Friday night demo derby anymore.
Okay. I never counted the demo derby on Friday night anyway, but I always got in trouble for that. So thank you. And then just a quick Miami County Fair Book cover contest. This is just for Miami County 4-Hers. Due May 1st. Guidelines are online or in the April newsletter. There is a $25 prize. You'll get that after fair. So any Miami County 4-Her can try to design the fair book or submit a design, and we'll see which one the fair board usually gets to pick, or a committee of fair board members get to pick that, and we'll see which one they actually choose. So it's always a good time, and I always enjoy seeing all the designs that our 4-Hers come up with. So encourage our 4-H members to enter that contest. Okay. All right. So my, I think almost my last one, but MdC Club Leader Notebook. Like I said, I added some different things about the use of the 4-H Clover and the co-branding things in there. So if you want to, if you haven't been on it lately, you might want to go. If you don't know about the notebook, we have the digital notebook. It's a Padlet. Using Padlet, you can use the QR code to do it. There's also a link to it on our webpage under Club Leader Resources. I also do have physical notebooks. So if you want a, paper copy of everything, I do not have those 2 things in it yet, but contact me and I can get you a paper copy of that notebook as well. So hopefully that'll help you. I'm trying to keep it up to date. Sometimes I struggle with that. So if you see something that's maybe not the right time or date, please let me know. Okay. Any questions before I go to the next club leader training? Okay. All right. I have moved our next club leader training because originally I thought I was going to be at Discovery Days, but it ends up I'm going to be at a conference when I had scheduled the club leader training originally. So it is May 31st now at 7 via Zoom. So that is a change from the original date if you'd gotten the original date from me before. But yeah, I appreciate that. And do you have any questions or concerns or anything we need to talk about before we end this call? Okay. Well, if not, thank you all for getting on tonight. Hopefully you found some things that are interesting. And also thank you so much for volunteering. You know, we wouldn't have the 4-H clubs and the youth involvement that we have in the Marais District without all of you. So I do appreciate it. You know, if you have any questions or, you know, need any help with anything, please feel free to call me, email me, message me, whatever you need to do. I'm here to help you. So I appreciate you all getting on, and have a good rest of your evening. And hopefully it'll be a nice weekend and we can get some things done outside.